Playboi Carti really is Tupac. He is literally the reincarnation of Tupac. He's a reincarnation of the soul that started out as Lesane Parish Crooks, became Tupac, and is now Jordan Carter, or as we know him, Playboi Carti. So let's talk about this, the timeline. So Tupac was killed September 13th, 1996 in Las Vegas, California. On the same day, Playboi Carti was born, September 13th, 1996, in Atlanta, Georgia. The theory here is that we're going to show as fact is Tupac's soul instantly transferred into Playboi Carti when he was born. Here's the interesting part. A lot of people, they try to argue if Playboi Carti was born in 1995 or 1996. It has been confirmed that he was born 1996, September 13th, after 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And so what this means is when Tupac was killed around 4 p.m. California time, it would have been around 7 p.m. Eastern Time in Atlanta. So what this is pointing to is that when Tupac was killed, his soul immediately left his body and entered in to the body of Jordan Carter, or Playboi Carti, at the time of his birth. And this shows Tupac's soul did not take time to go into any spiritual realm or into heaven or any of these things. He came right back to earth in a new body to handle unfinished business. Now, this isn't just a theory. I've done the research. I reverse engineered Playboi Carti's astrology, his numerology, and I see the correlation here between his birth chart and Tupac's birth chart. Tupac was an Aries moon, which gives him the inner world of the warrior. And this Aries moon warrior energy is often why Tupac had the vibe of me against the world, or like it was him against everyone. And how this relates to Playboi Carti is Playboi Carti's south node is in Aries. This points to him being someone with a warrior mentality, or being a warrior in a past life, and directly relates to Tupac's Aries moon. And this south node Aries placement shows that Playboi Carti entered into the game at the exact point where Tupac's Aries moon left off at, which is the unfinished business that Playboi Carti has come back to handle. Now, when we say that Playboi Carti's soul entered the game right where Tupac's left it, another sign to this and more proof is within their numerology. Now, Tupac was born with the name Lesane Parish Crooks, and the numerology of that, I won't get fully into it because it takes a good bit of math, but it calculates up to the number 19, which is a very significant master number, and it calculates when it's reduced down to 1. It calculates down to 1. When you add 1 and 9 together, it creates a 10. And that comes down to 1 again. And here, also with Playboi Carti and his birth name, Jordan Terrell Carter, his numerology also comes down to 1. Now, the number 19 is not like the other master numbers, which are repeating numbers. It is actually a karmic debt number. And what this means is, as Lesane, Tupac was born with the weight of a king who misused his power in a past life. And he was born to repay his karmic debt. With his name being changed, it also changed his numerology. So when his mother changed his name at 1 year old, it gave him the master number 22, or which reduces to 4. So when he was born with the original name of Lesane, he was born with the numerology of 19, the number of karmic debt. And this gave him the energy of the fallen king. So he was born to repay his debts of abusing power in his past life. And when his name changed and he got the numerology master number 22, he became the master builder. But it also gave him the weight of the martyr. And it gave him a name that carried the weight of the world. It turned him from an average person to someone with the name of a king, but also that already had a burden, who when it doubled with him carrying the world, it was too much weight for him to carry and to sustain without giving in to his warrior energy and his power. Now, for Playboi Carti, Jordan Terrell Carter, the numerology of his name comes down to 1 as well, just like the original name for Lesane. Now, he's also a life path 11. So this gives him some 111 energy in his numerology. And the 11 is the master number of intuition. So he has a very strong intuition and connection to deep knowledge within his communities. And what this comes down to is he was born with the mission of his soul to use his intuition from the life path 11 to pretty much achieve where the others failed and died. He's here to use his intuition and his energy, his personal power, to not only achieve where the others died, but so he can survive where his past life souls, reincarnations, failed and died. Now, when I'm talking about past life reincarnations, and I say when they died, you might be wondering who I'm talking about when I say they, because I've only talked about Tupac or Lesane and Jordan or Playboi Carti. Now, this is where the context of this gets deeper spiritually. When Tupac was renamed at 1 by his mom and named Tupac Amaru Shakur, he was named after a fallen martyr king by his mom because she felt he needed a name that carried the weight of someone who had the power to uplift and reach communities outside of his neighborhood someone with a global struggle, as she said, and not just a neighborhood struggle. So when she decided to name him, to change his name from Lesane to Tupac, what she did essentially, whether she knew it or not, she gave him the name and in turn the keys to the power his soul had in his previous past life. She may not have known this, or maybe intuitively, in the grand scheme of things, it was not a coincidence, and she did this almost intentionally. But Tupac Lesane was Tupac Amaru II in his previous life. His soul was literally the next reincarnation of who his mom named him after. And this, you can go look into this. You can go look into, these are real historical figures and real people you can find paintings and pictures of. And in some ways, when you really look at these people, when you look at Playboi Carti, when you look at Tupac, when you look at Tupac Amaru II, when you look at Tupac Amaru I, all of these people have some very similar striking physiology and physiognomy. So you'll see a lot of similar features on the faces of these people when you look at them. And this is not a coincidence. These are literally different lifetime reincarnations of the same soul. So this is the history. When Tupac Amaru II took his name, he was originally not even named that. He adopted the name as well, just like Lesane's mom gave the name Tupac to him. Tupac Amaru II was originally a man with the name Jose, and he had a longer name. It's harder for me to pronounce, but I ran the numerology of his name as well, and also looked into the history of why he took on the name Tupac Amaru II, and it was to honor Tupac Amaru I, a king that had been killed and captured 200 years before him. And the thing is, when he adopted that name, it was not exactly a curse, but he adopted the energetic karma that comes with the name. And in turn, he also connected his soul to the original Tupac Amaru, which he most likely was another reincarnation of, and may not have known it. So, what happened with Tupac Amaru II, he was also captured by the enemy and had his tongue cut out and was executed. So, when we parallel this to the story of the Tupac we know in our lifetime, he used his voice and his warrior energy to speak out and to reach many people, had the energy of a king, and he was also captured, caught by his enemy, and killed or executed and shot because of what some people say he said too much, or he was too loud, he was too aggressive, he drew too much attention. When Tupac Amaru was executed, the king, his tongue was cut out. And in relation to this, it's a direct correlation to Tupac being killed by the use of his voice. Now, all of this ties back into Playboi Carti, and he is known for ways he uses his voice, whether you call it mumble rap, whether you call it the baby voice, or all of the different voices he uses to mask his own original voice. And he's even at this point been accused of using AI instead of using his own voice to make songs. In songs like the one he has with The Weeknd. And another song, I believe. So it's like people are saying that he's even using AI instead of his own voice. This directly correlates to the soul of Tupac. Tupac was killed because of his voice. And Playboi Carti, as the new reincarnation of Tupac, it's his mission to use his intuition to speak his soul's truth, to reach as many people as he can and be the king that his soul is destined to be without it getting him killed, like it did in his past life reincarnations. And this is the first part of why Playboi Carti is really Tupac reincarnated.